So we scrambled over the barricades, evaded the guards, and made our escape, dodging patrols, navigating to the border, only using the sense of smell. Yeah. Thursday, yeah. Oh, hello. Right, UCAS, yes. Hope you found today's talk good. We covered an awful lot of ground and an awful lot of information. Hopefully lots clarified in the course of that, or maybe lots of questions raised. You know where to find me if you've got those questions. In terms of clarification, don't forget the deadline to getting your paperwork in place for your student financing to make sure your accounts are burgeoning with cash by the time the start of term comes around, assuming it comes around. That all needs to be in by Friday. So get those applications in now. You need to have some paperwork in place. They tell me it takes an hour, hour and a half, no more than that. But if you want to have that cash in your accounts before term starts, that paperwork or that process needs to be completed by Friday. Other dates we talked about there, the 18th of June, that's when you need to have completed all of your decision making. That means that universities will make their decisions, will release they'll work out where they are in terms of spare places after that. So who knows exactly how that one will plan out. In terms of gap years, yes, lots of questions coming around on that. I think the critical question to ask yourself there is, what has changed? What's more important to you? Starting university when you're ready, or perhaps taking time out. This is a question only you can answer, but I can guide you in that. I know that a lot of people in the state sector have thought about this, and they've decided that what they're going to prioritize is their education. They have invested an awful lot in university, and for them, for a lot of kids, this is going to be the first time they've left home. They're not in a boarding school, and so they want this to be special. They want it to be everything they hoped and dreamed it would be, and so they're not prepared to spend the first however many months of the university sitting on their couch at home staring at a computer. So that's perhaps why a lot of people who aren't at boarding schools are choosing to take a gap year and see what happens a year down the line. Again, I think a year down the line, the situation will certainly be clearer. I think that the market will be trickier. It's going to be a much more competitive market a year down the line, but you will be able to choose from all of the subjects that are out there. You will be able to choose from the whole menu rather than picking from whatever's left as the restaurant starts to wind down. Anyway, don't want to talk any more about that. I've talked an awful lot about that. What I want to talk about is what's coming up. And so on Thursday, we have at 11 o'clock, a bit of an earlier start here, Dr. Dominique Thompson coming in to talk about mental health in young people. And of all of the things that the Enabling Futures program has allowed me to do, this is one of the things I'm most pleased about, and it's one of the things that really I'm looking forward to. I've said before, I heard her speak and she was absolutely fantastic. And when you initially indicated what it was that you wanted from this time, a lot of you indicated that some sort of guidance on mental health would be very, very welcome. So here we go. So that's on Thursday at 11 o'clock. Email me questions for Dom or post them in the forum on the VLE. But get your questions into me ahead of schedule, and then we can use that to shape the event as it comes through. And obviously we'll take questions at the same time. But forewarned is forearmed, as in all things. Other things you should be making progress on right now, your CVs. Hopefully you're going to be in a position to get your CVs to your tutors before half term. Worst case scenario, get them done after half term, but we really want to get these down now while you've got time and people to look over them for you. So let's get your CVs done. We promised that we'd get these for you before you left. And obviously on that front, time is running out, because as you may have heard, the subject guidance program, the whole Enabling Futures program, essentially comes to an end on June the 12th. Now, if you want to keep it going after that, if you want to keep checking in with subject guidance tutors, well, we're not going to say that's not going to happen, but that will have to be by negotiation with the subject guidance tutor, and we will be expecting the whole emphasis of any project at that time to change, and that it would be much more driven by you. The didactic element of the teacher standing there and saying, well, this is how you do it, that's all going to go probably after half term. And so the last couple of weeks of the Enabling Futures program, the subject guidance program, that's going to be about you saying, well, this is what I want from the remainder of the program, and organizing yourself and getting ready for that time when we will release you into the wild without your stabilizers. And hopefully you will soar beautifully, if that's not a dreadful mixed metaphor, which of course it is. Other things to think about at that point, if you still want to have subject actual A-level tuition towards resits, then you have to start speaking to your heads of department as soon as possible. If you're not doing it already, please do contact your heads of department, contact them, and make sure your tutor's in on that, and probably your housemaster as well, explaining that you're going to require extra guidance going into this, and then we can start working out how we can best help you. We need to know who wants what before we can really start putting any formal plans in place. So one last thing, really, and it's something I think is again quite interesting. This period has forced us to make some very, very interesting adjustments on the hoof. But the overall response has been very, very pleasing, very encouraging. And I've been very, very reassured and grateful for the way in which you have bought into the program and the things that you've brought to the program as much as the things that you may have taken from it. With that in mind, what we'd like to do is to create a document of your reflections on this time. No one's ever been through this before. And while it seems incredibly fresh now and incredibly vibrant now, in a year's time, memories will have faded. I mean, memories will have faded in a couple of months, assuming things go on. But once things get back to normal, your approach to all of this is going to change, and memories will fade, and things will take over. And 2 or 3 years down the line, Deo Valente, we'll be back to normal, and this will be a memory. But what sort of a memory will it be? We would like to collate that. We would like to create a formal document recording your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions as you went through this. And so rather than asking you to produce a personal report at the end of this term, what we'd like you to do, if you want to, is to contribute to this almanac, contribute to our reflections on this bizarre period. Because your memories will change and your memories will fade, and we need to get that immediate response, I think, to get a clear and accurate and useful historical document. But let me put it to you this way. In a few years' time, you're going to be going to job interviews. And because you are this particular generation, we can almost guarantee that at some point in the interview, someone's going to say, well, what did you do during the lockdown? How did you feel? What did you learn about that? Now, obviously, again, memories are going to change and ideas are going to evolve, but it'd be very, very useful to have that immediate response to hand. So, if you can get those to us, we will collate them all and we'll create this legacy document explaining what we all went through at this time and how we all felt about it, and how it perhaps changed us and how it made us reassess the things that we value, the things that we prioritize, and the things that we want. So I'll be setting a task on the VLE, explaining exactly what we want from that. But please do think about it and please do contribute. We'll make it voluntary. We're not going to put a 3-line whip on it because you guys are going to be out doing interesting and fabulous things very, very soon. But I would really like to know how this period has impacted on you, how you have evolved or changed or become a little bit different, whatever it is. Or maybe you're just the same, who knows. But I'd like to know. Right, I have now warbled on for about 9 minutes. I think I've covered everything that I wanted to talk about. Yes, do please let heads of department know, let your tutors know if you want further guidance. There are many things that are not optimal about this, but one of the real problems we've got is that we can't tell you what grades we are putting forward to the exam boards. We cannot tell you what grades we are putting forward to the exam boards. We cannot reveal our centre assessment grades. That's what they're called. So please don't ask us, because we'll just say no, and then everyone's going to get a little bit testy. So we are forbidden by law from revealing any of these to you. They can be made available after the event, I believe, under the Freedom of Information Act, unless they tweak that again. But we can't tell you what those grades are. You're just going to have to decide for yourselves whether or not you think you've put in a good shift over the last however months, and whether or not you might want to go into a reset. But I hope that lots of you are confident that you've all done a good job and that we can draw a line under this term and simply look forward to the next stage of your academic journeys. And I look forward to that. I look forward to reading your reflections on COVID. And I look forward to half term, as I'm sure you do indeed. And we'll be in touch after half term just to see how you're doing. And obviously nurse the Enabling Futures program to its delicate and hopefully very, very happy denouement. And that's enough from me. Thank you very much. Good night. See you all very, very soon. Cheers now.